Welcome everyone to Depression to Expression. My name is Scott, and today we are talking about depression. Yay! But what depression feels like. So maybe you can understand someone that you love who's fighting through depression. Maybe you can understand them a little better and what they're going through. But obviously, I can't compare my story to anyone else's or compare my feelings to anyone else's. So this depression story is my own. This is how I feel when I'm depressed. I haven't been that low in a while. Thank God, and out of focus here, knock on wood, not a superstitious person, but when it comes to mental illness, whoa, I'll do anything, okay? So I'd like to just talk to you about how I felt, what depression feels like to me, and hopefully you get something out of this video, okay? Because it's dark. Now, I've made jokes in the past about what depression feels like, right? It's like getting a bag of flour hit against your balls 20 times. And, or it's like, I don't know, getting punched in the face a million times. But I've also made the real observation, and I've made the real point, actually, of saying that it's worse than any physical pain you could go through. And that is really hard to grasp. A lot of people have difficulty grasping that, but I can tell you, and you can probably maybe reach that conclusion and say, yeah, that does make sense, because the pain is so great for people that they actually end their own life because it's so dark and they feel like they cannot escape the pain. So they will undergo extreme pain in order to end that. So you can probably figure out that, yes, the pain is extremely great, and 1 million people die by suicide each year on a global scale. So this is not something that is rare. Depression is something that we all go through. The spectrum is different for everyone. And I know some people, again, not comparing, but some people I'm sure experience darkness unlike mine. And, you know, it's I don't know. It's obviously hard to explain, because that's why I've been delaying for a while. I'm trying to get to that. Oh, before I even continue this video, I should have said this at the beginning, but this whole channel, if you're new, this is Depression to Expression. This channel isn't for glamorization. I'm not doing this for attention, man. I don't talk about mental health for attention. I'm not doing it for sympathy or empathy and saying, oh, Scott, it's okay, man. You're so strong that you fought through it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is so one person out there can say, hey, here's a guy, and he goes through hard shit too, and you know, no one's invincible. And we all go through stuff. So, depression, what does it feel like? I know the video cut, but I've been sitting here for a really long time. Just like this, by the way. I want to get this right. So, if you read a definition of what depression is, right, you'll see words like the feeling of worthlessness, loss of appetite, loss of motivation, extreme fatigue, isolation, removal from, you know, their social circle, loss of interest in what they used to love. And that can be also attributed to extreme sadness, right? Like all of you watching have most likely experienced a lot of those. Sure, weight loss. Sure, you felt worthless from time to time. Why not? Even if you've experienced all of those, it doesn't necessarily mean depression. And I think the closest I can get to what depression feels like is complete and utter pointlessness. The way I feel is there is absolutely no point to existence. There's absolutely no purpose in anything. Not anything I do, not anything anyone else does. And it's not that you change, it's almost like the world changes for you. Like, because it doesn't feel like you did anything wrong at the time, but it feels like the world turned its back on you. It's like, you know, I'd walk down the street, I'd see people working in a coffee shop. I'd see people smiling, and maybe walking their dog or having a laugh with someone they're with. And I could not understand for the life of me how life could bring anyone any joy. Nothing could possibly bring anyone joy, including myself, though. So it's not that I felt crazy, it's that I felt everyone else was crazy for smiling. There is no possible way anything is good in this life. Hence why suicide is an option. Because if there's no point now, and you can't see a future where joy would even exist, or where happiness would even be a fucking option, then why would you continue to live? Suicide would seem like the logical option. Right? Of course it would. It's like, I define depression, I forget this podcast I listened to, but it's an older video, and I defined it as the blackness of future. And that's exactly what it is. Because if you're going through something very difficult in the present moment, but depression hasn't plagued you, it's like you can figure out, okay, well, at least next week I have this to look forward to, and that is going to make me happy. At least next week I can go to this concert. At least next week I'm seeing my family. At least tomorrow I'm going to this sporting event. At least, you know, in 6 months, I think I can get that promotion. So I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep driving, and then I get to attain that goal, and I strive for that one thing. Depression, there's the pointlessness. First of all, why do any of that? Why would you do any of that when it's not going to bring me joy? That's the blackness of it. You can't see joy now, and you can't see joy in your future. And as I just said, why would you do anything to get better and to improve yourself if you know it's not going to make any damn difference? Why would you do anything? And that's what it feels like. You feel absolutely trapped. You feel trapped. And this video isn't to talk about how to get out of that, because that's a real complex thing to talk about, and there's lots of videos on this channel if you want to look at those. And there's a whole bunch of different kinds of formulas, all from, you know, seeing a psychologist to different medications you can try and diet and everything like that. But the feeling is just unbearable, everyone. And again, I'm not saying that for sympathy. I'm not saying that for a pat on the back. I'm saying that so maybe you can understand that it's absolute hell when people go through that. And it's not something you can snap out of. It's not. I'm the type of person, when something's wrong, or when I want something changed, or I'm interested in something, man, I'm doing everything in my power to either change, or to learn about something, or to fix something, or to improve myself. I'm about those actionable steps. And I ask anyone that knows me, if you know anyone that knows me, I'm that type of person. And I couldn't do that. For the life of me, I couldn't take a step into the light with depression. Not without help. Not without medication. I tried everything. It felt like I was absolutely trapped. I was too heavy to move. It was too dark to see. It was complete and utter pointlessness. It was, the world is pointless, man. Pointless. No purpose. Absolutely no reason to live. We all have a reason to live. Do you live for your family? Do you live for your career? Do you live for food? What's your passion? Do you have certain hobbies that you live for? Do you live just to see the beautiful sunrise the next day? You could probably list a million reasons, if not one. With depression, if you had a million, gone. If you had one, well, now you're really screwed. Not one of those things on my list was worth it. Not one, man. I try to keep things light on the channel because I want people to understand, but I want people to have fun learning about this stuff, and I'm not a very serious guy to begin with, but I think it's important to have, you know, a video like this from time to time because people are suffering out there, man. people are really going through a tough time. And the things people go through, a lot of us can't even imagine. And physical health is one thing, but again, mental pain is another. And you can't see it. But the mind is a battleground. And what people go through, there is a fucking war within their mind. There is a war. And no matter how hard you try, it's like the battle's with them. The battle, you're fighting it alone, it seems. So I guess the answer to what depression feels like, if we sum it up really, it's the blackness of future. It's that life is pointless and you can't see any joy or any reason to live. So if that's helped someone realize what it feels like or given you a different spin on things, then my work here is done. Don't forget to check out other videos, and I hopefully they're helpful to you or someone you love or someone you know. Stay strong and keep being you.